It's no wonder. It's no wonder that people in my neighborhood are still acting crazy because you can tell which people are part of Trump's cult by how they treat their neighbors, treat the people around them, treat government officials, treat police officers even, which it's kind of shocking because a lot of the police officers were in support of Trump, and now it doesn't matter because their base is so crazy based on what he puts into their heads that it doesn't matter. They'll eat their own. They'll eat their own. And so, when I have been filing police reports for 3 years against the people that have been harassing me in my home, and I'm a private citizen, I am not a public personality. I'm on medical leave. I'm not making money from my videos. I am simply sharing my thoughts as an organizer, a small time organizer in Orange County, right? But there are people so crazy at this point based on what they have been had fed into their brain from Fox News and from Trump and all of his social media that they have no comprehension of how to be neighbors anymore. They have no idea how to just walk down the street with their dog and move on. You don't like the sound of somebody's voice? Too bad. Not your house. You're on a public sidewalk. Move the hell on. But these people have been doing it for like 3 years now. And I have several videos of them doing it. And then that's a problem too. If you actually get evidence of it, which the HOA had asked me to do, they're like, I don't know. I didn't see it happen. Can you show me on like a video? Can you get this on video? I swear to God, you do that again, I'm gonna pull my camera out. Anyway, Trump just tried to skip out on his rape trial. He didn't legally have to be there, which is fine, but it certainly doesn't look good for him, and it shows disrespect to the court. And certainly the Truth Social, which is his own social media network because he got kicked off Twitter, he's putting posts up that it's becoming increasingly more likely that he will be held in contempt and jailed. And I almost wonder if that's the goal, because he kind of has the Andrew Tate approach to his base, which is the Matrix, the deep state is coming after me, right? Okay, so here's what he did upon his return to America after taking what many considered a very inappropriate trip so that he could skip his rape trial, right?
I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. Donald Trump has unfortunately returned to the United States after fleeing the country during the E. Jean Carroll trial, and he has began posting once again on his social media platform disgusting and vile and very hate-fueled messages, and again spreading complete and utter...
Which, by the way, I hope these courts start acting. Because why are you creating another scenario in which there might be riots, there might be murders again? Because that's what happened on January 6th. They busted their way into the Capitol to try and stop democracy, the transfer of power, and they killed people while doing it. It's 9 a.m. Why are there kids riding around on motorbikes at 9 a.m. on a Monday? Are all of your kids homeschooled? What's going on here? Because it really seems like they never have to go to school. Very bizarre.
Disinformation, attacking prosecutors. Let's just take a look at some of the things that he has posted, because they are so utterly despicable. And I know the large media networks like to normalize this behavior or just ignore it and act like these are just, as CNN says, unique positions. No, this is some deranged, fascist, not normal stuff that we in a civilized society need to call it out for for what it is. This is what he posted. He goes, "Back in the USA, but sadly, I see so many really bad things happening to our country. The DOJ and FBI are destroying the lives of so many great American patriots right before our very eyes. The court system is a rubber stamp for their conviction and imprisonment. All this while the..."
Hang on this. There's a couple of observations that you should make about this post. One, it was posted according to his timestamp photo 2 days ago. So depending on when he actually collected the screen cap to actually do this particular segment, that means Trump either came back on Friday or Saturday. That woman yelled at me on Friday, by the way. The other thing is he's trying to basically attack police. He's trying to attack police. He's trying to attack the legal justice system. He's trying to attack all of it. And at the same time, it's all about like white collar crime for the most part. This is the kind of crime that rich ass people get away with. Whereas when we talk about reforming the justice system, we're talking about doing so that it's not predominantly attacking people of color, minorities, because that is the problem with our justice system, is that it's disproportionately attacking people of color or in poorer neighborhoods or whatnot. And this guy is such a whiny asshole that he just literally thinks he can get away with anything. And his fucked up fan base thinks that they can help him along by being rude to everybody around them and hurting the people around them. Your crew murdered people. You cannot say that about the Democrats. That didn't fucking happen. But your crew, your Trump and your MAGA party killed people.
Radical left protects and coddles extremists and murderers at a level and with intensity never seen before.
Wow.
Get smart, America. They are coming after you. This is pure scare tactics. This is pure fascism. This is pure projection right here as well. And I know that Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans want to claim that it is a conservative idea to send congressional delegations to prisons where the January 6th insurrectionists are at and start singing songs with them. But that's called aiding and abetting terrorists right there. And let me be very clear what Donald Trump is referring to in this post. Remember what happened at the end of last week? The Proud Boys were convicted. 4 of the Proud Boys convicted of seditious conspiracy. All 5 were convicted of very serious felony counts for their role in the January 6th insurrection. He is sending...
That's just the Proud Boys, y'all. There was also an article, there was some information shared last week that something like 10 to 12 Oath Keepers also received the heaviest sentences so far over the insurrection. The longest being 25 years. 25 years. Okay? But this is what you want to align yourself with? You're a traitor to the nation? This is what you want to align yourself with?
This message to them that he thinks that is unfair. He is sending this message to other domestic terrorists that he stands with them and against the police, against the FBI, and against the Department of Justice. What else happened over the past few days? Well, the Department of Justice also filed their sentencing memorandum relating to the Oath Keepers, where they're seeking about 25 years for the leadership of the Oath Keepers who were involved in the January 6th insurrection and who were convicted of seditious conspiracy and or other very serious felonies. So Donald Trump is basically saying in this message, I stand with all of you. I think that is unfair. I am not on the side of law and order. He's saying that he's on the side of domestic terrorists there. So just think about that. Yeah. He's such a coward. He flees from the country during the E. Jean Carroll case, returns, and the first thing he posts is to let domestic terrorists know. But
what's worse in this scenario is that he's telling his entire base. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Well, okay. He obviously committed a lot of serious crimes. And it apparently it's very difficult to hold him to justice, to actually get justice out of this scenario. It's taking years. We are 3 years past this, right? No, 2.5. 2.5 years past this, right? Um, but all those people that he's saying, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. If it happens to them, it's going to be much fucking worse. It's going to be way the hell worse. And that's why it's so strange for me to see these Trump supporters still acting out, still lashing out, still expecting that they can just be mad at their neighbors who disagree with them politically and try and harass them in their homes and be difficult and create an unsafe situation in their own neighborhoods, right? I mean, what? Do you have relatives that got fucking locked up that you're so angry? Is it that bad? Like, why are you the way you are? Why are you constantly attacking people you disagree with? Do I walk up to your properties and do this to you? Absolutely not. And even before I got bit by a dog, even before I started having a disability that prevents me from moving very quickly, I was not going up to people's properties and harassing them like that. That is a very bizarre thing to do. But y'all want to come up to my property and harass me, right? This isn't going to go well for you if you keep doing this bullshit. Because ultimately, the law will catch up with you. It's not going to go on forever. Leadership changes all the time. As I'll tell you straight up, your boy is not getting in next year. He's not getting in.
That he stands with them. This, as the MAGA Republican Party, stands with him. The whole Republican Party is cool with this and just supports this. It is utterly, utterly despicable. Let's take a look at some of the other posts that he made. Here, he posts a photo of all of the prosecutors in the various cases where he's either been criminally charged, in the case of the Manhattan District Attorney, or in the case of the Attorney General of New York. There's a civil case in Fulton County, Georgia, where there's a criminal investigation with respect to the Department of Justice with the ongoing criminal investigations of Jack Smith. Here's what Donald Trump writes. He puts a photo of all of these various prosecutors, and he goes, "These are the prosecutors that Merrick Garland and crooked Joe Biden have illegally unleashed on me in order to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election. Wow. They don't want me to get the nomination because they know I won twice, did much better the second time, and I'm also leading Biden being in the polls." That's not true. "How would you like to be simultaneously fighting this group of thugs, radical left, Marxist, racist, and lunatics? But it's what I do to make America great again and save our country again." What a freaking madman, disgust.
Well, on top of it, like, they couldn't even come up with a better candidate to run for the 2024 cycle. It's like they've completely doubled down on the strategy of just going forward with a crook. He's a crook. He's a criminal. He's a traitor to the nation. In previous times, he would have been hung. And yet, here he is. Here we have to deal with him. And we have to deal with all of his little fan base that is a very small portion of our communities. But they're loud and obnoxious, and they want to hurt people. They want to hurt people. That's why they get in our face. That's why they were anti-maskers and refused to, try to bust into businesses down here in Orange County. Tried to force everybody to breathe their COVID breath. Trained up their kids to become gang members. Coronavirus squad, y'all. Nice. Your little junior high kids. The kind of name calling that that Donald Trump engages in. He called him crooked Joe Biden, right? Donald Trump doesn't seem like he ever matured beyond the mentality of a 13-year-old. And quite honestly, the rest of you who follow him seem like you haven't either. Like, you don't know how to be adults. You do not know how to coexist with your neighbors. You don't know how to just respect the people around you. Instead, you have to invent names for people, try and hurt the people around you, and you can't just like live a decent life. And this is supposed to be the evangelicals of the country? Are you for real? I could tell you straight up that the HOA board member who kept coming after me for my politics, she wanted me to take down my yard signs. She told me if I took down my signs, people wouldn't harass me anymore. She yelled at 3 evangelicals in front of my balcony and told them to leave the neighborhood. Why? Because she didn't want them to knock on her door. So I told her, look, they have First Amendment free speech. Of course they're allowed to knock on these doors. You are allowed to have conversations with people about politics and religion. That is a First Amendment protected free speech activity, period. If you don't want to talk to them, then you turn them away at your own door. But you certainly can't tell them to leave an open neighborhood like this. Even if the neighborhood was gated, which it's not, they're allowed to do it in gated neighborhoods too. It is protected free speech, and there is Supreme Court case law that supports that. It's really disgusting the way these people behave. Very disgusting.
Despicable criminal traitor this individual is, who's such a freaking coward, who abandons the country. He flees from this country to go to Scotland and Ireland. He doesn't even know how to shovel dirt, and he has to have people put dirt in his shovel because he can't even shovel. And then he hires bagpipers to play for him because he's not even wanted there, so he has to make himself feel wanted by them playing the bagpipes while he enters. Meanwhile, he's hired them. Then he comes back to our country to attack law and order, to attack prosecutors, and then to call normal Americans who care about our country, who care about law and order, lunatics and Marxists. I mean, how dare this freaking idiot traitor? And I'm just so sick and tired of large media networks. Oh, let's give him a town hall. He's sharing some unique positions. It's like they don't even cover this stuff that he posts. All of this stuff right here should be absolutely disqualifying. Here's another post that he makes. He goes, "It's time to beat the radical left at their own game. Money does talk. Anheuser-Busch now understands that." First off, what are you talking about? Anheuser-Busch is just doing fine. Great new book by Wayne Allen Root. Buy your copy today. And so this is what he promotes. The Great Patriot Boycott book. The great conservative companies to buy from and invest in. Just like a total like grift to begin with.
Yeah.
Like and there's nothing conservative, as I've always said, about any of this authoritarianism style, whatever the heck you even want to call this. The winning game plan to fund conservative, patriotic, and Christian companies and defund leftist woke companies. You know, these idiots who call it canceling, where you criticize their racism, where you criticize their hate, where you criticize their harassment, where you criticize their criminality, and you go, hey, that's criminal. That's terrorism. That's horrifically racist. That's Russian propaganda. Oh, you're trying to cancel me. And they go, oh, you're trying to... No, I'm not trying to cancel you. I have a free speech right to criticize the fact that you are saying either criminal things or racist things or hateful things or Putin things. That's not canceling you. That's using my First Amendment right. Y'all are abusing your First Amendment.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean, if you were canceled, nobody, like, you'd just be blocked by everybody. Nobody would talk to you, and you'd just be blocked by everybody. The fact that you're at least getting the conversation of, hey, you're making some mistakes and you're pissing everybody off, you're not canceled, obviously, but you're unreceptive to the feedback, right? You're unreceptive to constructive feedback about your behavior. I think the biggest thing that Trump people need to learn is to mind their own goddamn business and stop trying to hate on everybody else.
right, to spread and spew this hate. And mind you, the First Amendment deals with the government, not a private citizen, to criticize you for spreading this hateful stuff. And meanwhile, here they are basically writing books and promoting books about trying to cancel what they call leftist woke companies, which in their mind are companies that try to protect equity or promote equity or try to promote women leadership or try to promote diverse hiring and try to hire more black and brown candidates to make sure there's a more diverse work pool. And they go, oh no, that's a leftist and woke idea. Equality is a leftist and woke idea to these people. And then they go, because of that, we need to cancel them. We need to do boycotts. I mean, and then they promote it in books that they write. Here's another post that Donald Trump makes, and he posts Steve Bannon, who's been convicted of obstruction of Congress. Bannon goes, Trump won the 2020 election, full stop. MAGA knows this. The vast majority of Republican voters know this. Now, National Review desperately tries to have Trump's opponents turn it into a weakness. Never Trumpers, never learn. And then Trump responds to that and goes, the once respected National Review, which I guess billed itself as conservative, the once respected National Review is dead. The rhinos and stupid people killed it a long time ago. In other words, if you don't believe these horrifically deranged conspiracy theories of Donald Trump, if you want to live in your imaginary fantasy authoritarian world of Donald Trump and believe that 7 million votes were switched through satellites and, all this ridiculous
Oh yeah, like it went through that dead dictator, right? Well, that's actually really interesting that he doesn't even have the support of the National Review, which I think most people who pay attention to politics know that the National Review has put forward all sorts of alt-right bullshit for years. So the fact that he's even lost like one of the most extreme publications out there is hilarious. But it's also scary that there's a bunch of you out there that still buy up his bullshit. You gonna buy up this guy's bullshit? Why? What did you gain from this? A lot of you got sick. A lot of you got sick. We had an opportunity to change the landscape of corporate America and create more remote work environments so that people were not spreading as much disease and had the opportunity to work from the comfort of their own home. But oh no, you guys are like, no. We still need to hire managers to just watch you all day. We love surveillance, right? You guys like surveillance. That's your thing, right? You just want to be watched all day. You want like these fake jobs to be created where people just like walk around the office and make sure that you're like not looking at your Gmail and that you're like doing whatever the hell it is that you're supposed to be doing for your job all day, and that people are sneaking up behind you. Because that's what I remember working in an office looks like. People sneaking up behind me to see if I was checking Gmail while I was trying to clear my mind while I was writing proposals. Because, you can't just focus on something for hours on end without giving your eyes a break. But oh no, this is how you guys want it to go. You want to be surveilled all day, right?
Tinfoil hat type of crap. If you don't believe in the Trump cult, then you're a rhino now. They say you're not a conservative. No, there's nothing conservative about these MAGA Republicans at all, period. This is just fascism. This is authoritarianism. You got Steve Bannon right now, who is also currently under indictment in Manhattan for the We Build the Wall scam, right? He set up a GoFundMe account saying that the money that I thought Mexico was supposed to pay for a border wall, but apparently it was going to be privately funded by a GoFundMe, but apparently that money then went to Steve Bannon and his other co-conspirators who didn't get pardoned by Donald Trump when the feds prosecuted Steve Bannon and the others. They pled guilty to like 4 years, and now Steve Bannon, who was pardoned at the federal level, by Donald Trump's being prosecuted by the Manhattan DA, and Trump's reposting them. It's just a bunch of criminals.
Yeah.
That's just who they are. It is criminals. Despicable. Donald Trump also writes, he goes, the special, quote, prosecutor is harassing and threatening my people over the documents hoax, while nothing is being done with respect to crooked Joe Biden's many times more documents, especially those stored in Chinatown and Delaware. Another Russia style witch hunt under the Presidential Records Act. I have done everything right, except that I probably should not have returned the documents until it was all settled. I had every right to have them, with the right also to declassify. I mean, look,
No, you didn't.
everything here is utterly false and deranged right here. I mean, completely and utterly deranged. One, you didn't return them. That's why a search warrant had to be executed at Mar-a-Lago. You cherry-picked documents and had people sign false declarations under penalty of perjury saying all the documents were returned when they were not returned. That's why there had to be a search warrant. You literally went against every aspect of the Presidential Records Act. You've committed multiple crimes here, and it is just utter disinformation right here. And again,
Well, and on top of it, like everybody who works for him, he's Ben Masalis has mentioned this before, that MAGA stands for making attorneys get attorneys. The thing is, he does not care about anybody. He has somebody was maybe it was earlier in this video or a different video, said that Trump has he's got to be autistic or something, right? No, he's not autistic. He has probably, I'm not a doctor, so I can't make the claim, but what it looks like to me after watching all those JCS videos is that he has narcissistic personality disorder. And he does not, and probably is a sociopath, right? So he does not care about the safety of the people who work for him. He does not care if they have to go to jail, as long as he doesn't. And he does not care about his voters. He doesn't care if they go to jail for being incited to violence on his behalf. He does not care. As long as he gets to be praised by you, as long as he gets a powerful position, he's perfectly fine with hurting everybody around him. And you all, the ones who support him, are the most likely to get hurt. Why? Because you're the most likely to do something stupid on his behalf.
Attacking special counsel Jack Smith here as well. And then here's another one right here where he basically attacks Jack Smith in a very similar way. He goes, the special prosecutor Jack Smith, who is harassing, threatening, and he goes terrorizing people who work for me, probably illegal and totally at odds with the way crooked Joe Biden is being treated, will no longer be known as the special prosecutor, but rather...
Are you going to mention something about how, like, each of these things, you're showing retweets? He's retweeting his own posts. So I don't even know what the original timestamps are on this, because I don't know if the timestamp I'm looking at is when he actually retweeted it or when he originally tweeted it or truthed it, whatever it's fucking called on his stupid ass social network program that nobody fucking wants to use except for his hardcore crazy ass bitches.
The special persecutor, he is a Trump-hating slimeball who is going far beyond the original instructions of the Department of Injustice. The witch hunt continues, as it always will, with the radical left country-destroying lunatics. I mean, again, if you're not part of the Trump cult, if you actually support real law and order, you're considered a radical left lunatic or a rhino. That is a hallmark of authoritarianism. As I've gone through this with you time and time again, everything that Donald Trump is saying here is absolutely false. But what Trump is terrified about is special counsel Jack Smith is also focusing on Donald Trump's relationship with the Saudi royal family, their participation in the Live Golf Tournament, where they've paid Donald Trump a lot of money to have this golf tournament at his properties. It's the same Saudi Arabian sovereign wealth fund that gave $2 billion to Jared Kushner, even though Jared Kushner is not a wealth manager and has no history or ability to. That is, gave him a check of $2 billion, which is an obvious, in my opinion, an obvious quid pro quo right there. But Special Counsel Jack Smith wants to focus on, and is focusing on, has Donald Trump basically been showing them documents? Is there quid pro quos there regarding Donald Trump's theft of government records and the Saudi Arabian royal family? When they show up, is it part of, Donald Trump having the leverage over, stealing government documents? So that's what Donald Trump's basically saying. Oh, they're terrorizing people. They're threatening and harassing people. No, when you will go on your social media platform and you target prosecutors and their families, and you gaslight your followers with all of these lies and basically engage in these stochastic terrorism, in essence directing them to harm people who are trying to uphold law and order, you are the one harassing, threatening, and terrorizing people. And frankly, every single day you harass, threaten, and terrorize not just the United States of America, but the entire world. And we need to recognize the fascist threat that is Donald Trump. And you need to spread these videos around and share these videos and share the Midas Touch Network with everybody you know, because I know they're not getting this information on the large media networks. And all I'm doing is showing you what he's writing. Okay, yes, do I have an opinion about it? Of course I do. But this is the stuff that he's saying in his own words. And y'all can judge for yourself. Is that...
Well, and you also have to take a look at how does this manifest in your daily life, right? Obviously, I get targeted far more than probably the rest of you, because the people in my neighborhood know that I'm an organizer, that I was a Bernie organizer, that I've organized for Democratic goals, events, whatnot, for Progressive Democrats of America, for Our Revolution, for Unite Here. I've organized on the left for quite some time now, so obviously I'm a target, despite the fact that I'm on medical leave and I'm not doing anything other than enjoying my property and trying to rest, right? But I'm sure the rest of you have seen how this is manifested within your own neighborhoods, and how hostilities have increased because of the shit this piece of crap keeps dishing out to his hardcore cultish following.
The person that you want to make life and death decisions for you, for your family, for your friends and coworkers and neighbors and colleagues and country and world. Absolutely not, in my opinion, but you decide for yourself. But let people know. Share these videos. Show them. Tell them. This is what is happening right now. This is what he's saying. Because, again, the media is not doing that. So that's what we do here on the Midas Touch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Check us out at patreon.com/Midas Touch.
Just being real, they put out a lot of content. Okay, they put out several videos every single day. So if you are going to follow them, like say on YouTube or wherever else they might broadcast, be aware that your subscribe feed is going to be filled. They and David Pakman fill my feed. And they have good content, but it is a bit overwhelming. So just heads up on that.